In a world where only the strong survive. I saw Jay at the club. I told him, you talk all that shit on Facebook, won't say it in my face, though. Man, fuck that bitch. There go your friend.
Bro, what the fuck is you doing?
What you mean what I'm doing?
What the fuck are you doing?
Nigga, I'm lost.
Man, don't play dumb. I was going through my girl's phone. I see she got a missed call from you.
Okay, and?
You don't call my fucking girl, bro.
Are you tripping, man? I was just calling her ass about the schedule.
Hey, hold this cane, boy. I don't give a shit what the fuck it was about. Whether it's my ex, my new flex, or my next. You don't call what's mine, nigga.
Yeah, I call whoever the fuck I want to call. You ain't nobody daddy, nigga. Tell him, baby. Whether you're dead or alive, only power decides. The first rule of real American heroes is pay your woman's bills. The second rule of real American heroes is keep your mouth shut and pay your woman's bills. Hey, I gotta quit. The third rule of real American heroes: make sure all your woman's needs are met. Keep your fucking mouth shut and pay your woman's bills. Any question? Yes, when is it alright for me to go through my woman's phone? Without express written consent, keep your nasty dick beaters off your woman's phone. A world where only stand-up niggas thrive. I'm out here moving and grooving, playboy. I got a big house, I drive nice cars, I got a main, 2 sides, and a drink. G.I.J.
For sure. What is this man angry about? Right now, nothing except your little snide comment, Super Stylist 75 trademark. What's the trademark for anyways, motherfucker? Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? Trademark? You and all the kids at recess talk about your trademark? Special little boy with your trademark? You see what I mean? Like, I'm not there. I'm not cool. Like, I'm just not there. But I'm trying. I'm gonna try to find love for Super Sly 75 trademark with the, like, let's go to this motherfucker's channel. Like, who is this guy? Super Sly 75. Super Sly 75. Let's see here. Super Sly 75. I found you, dog. 39.9K subscribers. Wait. Hang on. Damn, dude, you be actually doing a lot of videos. That's interesting. What's the trademark for, though, bro? Come on now. Let's see here. Let's see if I agree with a lot of your takes here. That's interesting. I'll say this. You're putting in work. That's for sure. Definitely putting in that work. Good for you. Do you have shorts going too? Damn, you got shorts going too? All right, Super Sly. Oh, what's this one? Wait a minute. When you're bored and you watch too many Miami Vice, you're like loading a pistol or something like that? That's interesting. All right, man. All right. You got some cool cats. I dig it. Nice, man. And so that's like a black bomber, man, on your thing? Man, I'm a fan. I'm going from a hater to a fan now. Interesting. I'm going to give you a subscribe. There you go. What is the TM about, though? What's that about?
All right. All right, before we get started, first things first, give me a quick sound check. And we're about to go in on this movie. Not just the movie, just everything, Michael. Give me a quick sound check, y'all. Get y'all asses in here. If you haven't seen a movie by now, you're bad. Get up to speed. Quit being go outside and touch some damn grass. And the rest of the world does not have time to wait for you to go watch this movie if you live in the States. If you don't live in the States, you know, this is not for you. This is no diss to you. But if you live in the States, you haven't watched this movie yet, no spoilers, slide. Just get your ass. Just go. Go outside and touch grass. God damn it. Okay. Are we good? That sound good? Yeah? Yeah, we sound good? We sound good? Okay. All right, we here. Okay. All right. Shout out to everybody. Now, who has not seen this movie? And I really don't want to hear why you haven't. There's no excuses. Y'all complain about white movies and okay, to give you a black movie and you don't go support. Not saying you should support because it's a black movie, but I mean, I think it's a pretty important movie to go see. This movie's going to kick ass. This movie's going to kick ass. It's going to make $1 billion. So let's go here. I'm not going to waste time. We're going to get right into it. I'm not going to waste any time. This movie is already sitting at $217 million worldwide. The next big movie that comes out, I think it's Mortal Kombat 2 is the next big one. There's no threat to Michael. I don't think there's no movie coming out in the next month. It's an actual. Oh, we got Mortal Kombat 2 and we got Mandalorian and Grogu. I don't think those movies are going to be threats to Michael. Overseas is going to do a lot of the heavy lifting. Maybe next week we hope for nothing more than a 50-60% drop. But this movie is whooping ass, man. It's whooping ass. So this thing should hit 500 million by next weekend. This thing should easily hit 500 million by next weekend. Okay, a couple things I want to go over with y'all. It's not so much spoilers, but there's things that I noticed. Maybe you guys did too. Let me just come out and say what needs to be said. I'm just go ahead and say it confirmed my suspicions of what I thought about Michael. Michael, from what I could tell, from what they shown, I believe Michael was autistic. I believe Michael Jackson was on the spectrum. Now, I work with kids. Couple telltale signs. I was like, oh, he can't sit still. Thoughts all over the place. But if he's into something, he's into it, and nothing else matters. Yeah, those are my kiddos, man. Those are my kiddos. I believe Michael's on the spectrum. And then there's a scene in the movie when they're at the dinner table. It's just Mike and Catherine. And he's like, I don't have any friends. She's like, how many more pets do you need? They're not my pets. They're my friends. Well, why don't you make friends? I can't make friends at school because they treat me different. And then she goes on a spiel like, I knew you were different from the day you were born. You're special. Don't ever let anyone dim your light. Michael was on the spectrum, y'all. He was a very high functioning, autistic person. And I gather that not just what they shown of him growing up, his childhood, but how his musical process, how he put ideas together, and the vision board was awesome. All the positive daily affirmations he had was beautiful. I love seeing that. But yeah, I would bet my last dollar he was on the spectrum. I'm gonna assume, typical the guilty diagnosis would be Asperger's. I believe he had Asperger's, and he was extremely high functioning. And then so let's start from the beginning. I loved it, man. Listen, everybody that has complaints, listen, I don't want to invalidate anybody's complaints. I don't. But what did you expect? This man's life has been a roller coaster for 50 years. What timeline would have made you happy? Michael meant so many things to so many different people. There is not one general consensus timeline that would have made everybody happy. He was a rock star for 50 damn years. Pick and choose. And everyone's not going to be satisfied, for one. Everybody's entitled to their opinions, for two. This man's life was a damn fairy tale to a certain extent. What more did y'all want? I'm not understanding. What did y'all want to see out of this movie? Did you want to, what about the allegations you didn't know that you need to see? Like, settled, not guilty. The kids grew up and said, they made us do it. Now there's a second family talking about, There's a whole new family now talking about Michael did this to us. Like, what? Seriously? Did you really want to go to a Michael Jackson movie and hear about child abuse allegations? That's what y'all really wanted to hear? That's what it would have drove you guys in. Oh, they're gonna talk about the child molest. Is that what you really wanted to go to a Michael Jackson movie for? Like, seriously, I'm humbly asking anybody that had any real critiques of this movie. Did you really want to go to a Michael Jackson movie, a celebration about Michael Jackson, and the only thing you want to focus on is the allegations? Okay. Whatever floats your boat. And let's see. The casting. Oh gosh, the casting was, they killed it with the casting. I mean, even the background dancers that matched pretty much everybody from the Beat It to the Thriller to when he's performing. When the final performance, when the Thriller, they had the blonde chick with the with the hair. Every person in front of that camera, A1 casting. There was no misses. They killed that shit. Who was the casting director for this movie? They deserve an Oscar nomination just on GP. Let's see, who was the casting director? I'm telling you, everybody in front of this movie, in front of the camera. Kimberly Harden. She's the one. She killed it. This her? A black woman. This is her. Kudos to her, man. I mean, she had a phenomenal eye. The little boy that sang at the beginning of the movie. This is why I can't rock with Joe Budden. That kid killed it. Did you hear his acapellas? You hear that kid in the studio belting out? I mean, wailing. That kid was wailing. That kid's a better singer than Jason Weaver was. What y'all talking about? Now, I will say this. I will make a video. I will say you need to do homework. For everybody that has complaints about Michael and what they didn't show and didn't put in, then go rewatch the Jackson 5 The American Dream miniseries. I would implore anybody that has not seen that miniseries, go watch the miniseries and then go watch Michael, or vice versa, and that way that will end your critique. Okay, but this is the sister here that every person in front of that camera spot on to the original people. Kudos to this woman. This woman has a cat's eye. She has the eye of a hawk. Everybody look damn near like the person from 40 years prior. That's insane. That is insane. Shout out to her. She killed it for the casting. If this woman doesn't get an Oscar nom next year for casting for this movie, that's a crime. Now, the movie's not perfect by no stretch. Let's talk about Coleman Domingo's portrayal as Papa Joe. He was menacing in a different way. You only see him whip Michael one time. Now they infer other times that Michael got the majority of the whoopings because Michael was really the only one that would test Joe. But Coleman Domingo's portrayal was menacing in a different way. He used manipulation tactics. He would use guilt. He would guilt Michael to do things for the family. He would use the family thing against Michael. But one key line in this movie that I thought was spot on, when Joe confronts Michael about him firing him via fax from John Branca, he was like, you want to be surrounded by a bunch of yes men. And ultimately, that's what happened to Michael. Ultimately, he was surrounded by a bunch of yes men. Nobody told Michael no. So I thought that was a key point in Michael's fight to break free of Joe's control. But to credit for fairness to Joe understood if it's best the family do you dirty than these people that have no connection to you. which is a weird thing for me to say, but you know, and then I didn't know that Joe went to Don King, and Don King was the one that got Pepsi behind the Victory Tour. I did not know that. I didn't know John and Don, or Joe and Don was working. I did not know that. Okay, learn something new every day. All right. Let me see. So let me go through my notes. I'm gonna run through everything that I saw. Some of you guys may have seen something different. Notes. Where you at? No, where you at? Okay. So let's go here. Nope, that's the first set of notes. Let's go first notes. There's one scene in the movie when they come home from a gig and they gotta rehearse, and he whoops them. Okay, there's one part where he called Michael Big Nose. Now that could have only have come from the family. Okay, I highly doubt the writers took creative freedom to insert that. When he called him, get in there, Big Nose, that tells me that was from the family. That's like, oh, that's what he used to call him. Okay, that was pretty poignant, because that's what ended up after he initially broke his nose in an accident, and then he just went and got the plastics, got the nose reduction, whatever the case may be. Okay, I was like, oh, okay. Did anyone catch that? Lorenz Tate was a gem as Barry Gordy, even though I don't see the resemblance at all, but still he did his thing as Barry Gordy. That was a nice little Easter egg. Lorenz Tate being playing Barry Gordy. Okay, now I get to my real set of notes. Okay, the moment in the studio with Barry, because this is what I'm saying. This is why it confirms with Michael's autism, because he wanted to know everything, what every knob, what every key, what every fader did in the studio, and Barry was asking, answering his questions. Like, he was just so inquisitive. Like I said, when those type of kids, when they're locked in, they want to know everything about whatever subject they're focused on. And then there's that tension between Barry and Joe. Like I said, it's like if you're a parent of a star athlete, there's a point in your relationship you have to let go and let the coach take over, because you can only take the kid so far. And in that dynamic, that's when you realize that Joe can only really take the kids so far, especially Michael. Right? There was that little mini tug of war, right? And then Mike gives Barry a hug before he leaves, and then Barry shoots back at Joe like, "Hey, you can ask me anything, anytime. I'm always around for you." That was a shot at Joe. Another shot at Joe is when Michael brought home Bubbles, and they all come out. He's like, "Oh, it's here, and he wakes everybody up. Everybody's outside. Here comes Papa Joe, and he's got Bubbles, and he's like, Coleman. Listen, I like Coleman, but he's always doing that Coleman thing, like, that thing what he does with his lips, like he does it in every single role he does. Look at boy, I think with the. So then he's explaining Bubbles to Joe. They're sensitive, and when they're under attack, they tend to hide. Talking to Joe. Did anybody catch that? There's a lot of little nuggets here throughout. Michael refers to his pets as friends. Catherine knew he was different. That first conversation he had about all his dreams and aspirations and what he wanted to do. And then, the camera pans out and it's got the goddamn llama. And people were like, oh my God. When he kisses the llama, people in the crowd were like, what is this? People were like freaked out in my audience. Because even I was like, well, damn. The camera pulls back. He kisses the llama. He done told all these. He's having a deep ass conversation with the damn llama. And so every pet he owned, the giraffe to the llama to the chimp, was everything he wanted to own as a kid. He told his mama this, hey, I'm gonna own this, I'm gonna own that. This is why they're special. This and that. Blah 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 blah. Of course, the first one starts off with the rat. The rat named Ben. Okay. Hey, Mike was doing the most. Okay, he ends up finding companions with sick kids, so he has a connection with sick kids. The chimps feel it when they hide and when they feel attacked. It's sensitive. Mike had vitiligo. That's why he wore the glove. For those who didn't know, Mike did have pretty bad body dysmorphia. Let's see. His bodyguard, Bill Bray, gives Michael the idea to get his own team, which is when he goes to the law firm. That's when he meets John Branca. John Branca, for those that don't know, is pretty much the guy behind the Beach Boys, right? And so then Mike makes John Branca his personal attorney. There's one scene where Michael ends up playing Twister with Bubbles because the other sons, the brothers, didn't have time for Mike because they all growing up and got families and stuff. Joe confronted Michael for firing him. Okay, one shot here in the pool with the brothers. They're like, man, what are you doing? I'm in the sun, and I got to be here when the creator gives me these ideas. Because if I'm not here to receive them, he'll give them to Prince. Yeah. Did you catch that line? He said, if I'm not here to receive these ideas from the creator, he's going to give them to Prince. Shade. Okay. That was funny. Beat It, inspired by gang violence. We are at Thriller. Walter then threatens to pull all CBS artists from MTV unless they play Michael's videos. Where's the glove to hide vitiligo? John and Joe and Don King. Blah blah blah. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, that's those set of notes. Okay. Is that it? Now let me know whatever I miss. Because like I said, I was trying to watch the movie. I'm trying to enjoy and take it all in and still take notes at the same time. They lied about his age. Barry told Michael to lie about his age. Instead of saying he's 10, say you're 8. Okay. All right. I did not care for Nia Long's portrayal of Catherine. Now, I'm going to assume in this instance, Joe is fire, Catherine is ice, warmth, right? Joe is stern, Catherine is compassion. This version, because the miniseries version, played by Angela Bassett, she was not a meek or timid woman to a certain extent, right? Remember they played her. She had a limp, she had a bad leg in the miniseries. In this movie, there's no bad leg. There's no gimp in her walk. Did you notice that? I did not care for Nia's portrayal as Catherine. I get it. She's a warm, compassionate, loving mother, always reassuring the boys it's going to be okay. There's subtle nods to, I guess, after the affair thing took place. You just assume there's the point when Joe was like, that boy fired his own daddy. How you fire your own daddy and not do it face to face? And she's like, what you gonna do? Whoop him? You gonna beat him, Joe? You can't whoop him. If you don't like it, just leave. And she walks away from him. So that only tells me that had to be after the affair was revealed. Okay. I agree. Well, let me just say this. Angela, that version of Catherine was a better version. I won't say better acted. Well, no, you can say that too. I don't want to diminish what Nia Long did in this role, but I was like, where's that fiery Catherine? I don't want you. Where's that version at? Because this Catherine here was, oh my God, Joe, you can't. And she's bringing Joe, food and drinks or whatever, and Joe is critiquing the boys. I mean, she was just really just a very meek woman. Angela's Catherine was not that woman, but there were instances where you can tell Catherine kind of found her own voice and told Joe no. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to go to y'all's comments because I know there's things that I missed. I mean, like I said, I laid down and took a nap. What I should have done was just fire up this live as soon as I got home, but I took a nap because I was sleepy. I'm sorry. Hey, okay. Yeah. So there's so many things that I noticed. So I don't know where are we gonna go? Where are you going? The fire was pretty spot on. The way, and then this shit. Okay, you know what? Let's do this. Let's revisit the fire incident. And for those that haven't seen it, I thought it was pretty accurate. Michael Jackson. I thought it was pretty accurate. So let's go to the original footage. This is the original footage. I thought it was pretty accurate. Now, they showed it from the front. So the director had an idea of Michael coming down the stairs by himself, not with the brothers, right? And so from the front, you see the spark and the top of the crown, but from the original footage, it's from the back, I believe. But let's go here. It was still pretty bad. I mean, pretty accurate in how bad it was. Yeah, type in whatever scenes that stuck out to you and we'll go over it together. And I'll give you my take on it. So here we go. I mean, soon it's already on. Listen, he's already on fire. You understand? So in the movie, he gets a couple steps down and you see the spark. And then it was pretty graphic. I thought it was pretty spot on. But here in the original footage, he's already on fire and he hasn't taken a step on the stairs yet. So it was pretty bad. It's pretty bad. He's already on fire. He's already on fire. He's already on fire. Jeez. Whew, shit. Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. That was bad. That was bad. I think the movie did a pretty good job capturing how bad it was. But once again, the movie gave us it from the front, not from the back, from like the original footage. He's already on fire before he takes his first step, y'all. Okay. The hospital scene was pretty bad because just like Ike with Tina when she's in the hospital, you got to get out there and perform. Now you die, I kill you. So Joe, okay, they reduced Joe into like the evil bad guy that twirls his mustache. We've all seen those cartoons, the guy with the long mustache and the guy he's in the top hat with the cane and the cape, and he's twirling his mustache. He's the evil guy that's always masterminding. I'll get you next time. Like they kind of reduced him down to the mustache twirler. But the scene in the hospital was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. He manipulates everybody. Catherine tries to stand up for him, and he's like, "You don't understand. Like the only way for him to recover is to get back on stage." And he keeps doing the. What you saying, Doc? Can he get back on and perform? When can he perform? Okay. And then Mike finds his connection with all the burn kids, and then he realizes, okay, I'm blessed. Let me shine my light. He donates all the proceeds, all the money from Pepsi to the burn center. The scene where they're going over the burns. The doc has said so the plan was for them to expand. There's a procedure where they put implants into Michael's scalp to expand his skin to cover up the burns. If that makes sense. Extremely painful. Mike tried not to do the pain meds, because remember that they're still Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't believe in drugs. They don't holidays, right? So he tried to, and then the next scene back, you see the Demerol drip. So, and then he's like, okay, do I have to wear a wig? And, or you have to cover, what kind of wig? And he's like, well, we have, weaves, prosthetic wigs that we can try. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was a pretty big gaping. It was bad. It was bad. Okay. So let me go through y'all's comments. We'll pick out these scenes real quick. Okay, let me see. Off the wall and Thriller parts seem rushed. Once again, we're talking 50 years of this man's life. I don't think there's nothing they could have shown that you would have made you guys happy. I just don't. I just think Mike's story is too much. You would need multiple movies to tell his story correctly. He's one of those few people that you can't tell a story in 2 movies. You need a goddamn trilogy, quadrilogy. You understand? You would need a whole goddamn movie series to tell his story. It's just too much. It's too much. I hear what y'all saying. And there's even things that I wanted them to touch on, but I'm like, this man's been a rock star for 50 fucking years, y'all. What timeline would have made everybody happy? There is no timeline. There is none. You know, you listen. I once again, I would say go back and rewatch the miniseries. That should help a bit, right? I didn't think the Off the Wall was I thought I loved the process with Off the Wall. And once again, you know, they went back in and retouched up some of the music because that shit was booming in the damn in the speakers in the theater. I said, this shit sound better than, you know, like, you know, they went back in and touched that shit up because Bad was bumping. Thriller was like, oh shit, like, oh, like it. They did musically, soundtrack wise, you know, they spiced it up a bit, which is great. Let me see. Joe, see. Yeah, I don't know, man. Would that help move the? Okay, let me ask you guys questions. My question to everybody that had issues with stuff being omitted: would it have moved the story forward, or would it just been a distraction? Okay, how does Joe? And I'm with you, but how does Joe, the baby girl that he had, how does that move the Jackson story forward? I'm only asking as a fan of screenwriting, a fan of storytelling. How does that move the Jackson 5, the Michael Jackson story forward? That's my question to anybody that felt like things should have been added. Does it help tell the story? That's my only response. I'm not disagreeing, but I'm asking, does it help progress the story? Okay. Nope, Janet didn't want no parts of it. Janet's a hater. I believe Janet was a hater. That's just my take on it. Okay, that's my take on it. Damn, Will. I mean, I hear you, bro. I hear you. So, okay, this here. After Joe met with Don, can we suspect they set up the Pepsi fire to force MJ into the Victory Tour? He's already on tour. Why would you? Respectfully, why would they? Michael was the cash cow. Remember, Don wasn't going to do it unless Michael was there. Why would you risk harming Michael? He's your cash cow. And Mike still finished the tour. So that would not make sense. Why would you risk harming the golden calf? And like I said, he still finished the tour. And we're going to get to the tour in a minute. We're going to get to that scene, that one particular scene in the tour in a minute. Okay. Okay. Hey, man, have at it, man. You know? Hey, listen. Hell yeah. I would have liked to see more of Joe and Don King. Two old school niggas. Two hardcore niggas born in the 50s. You know what I'm saying? Like, a Joe Jackson, Don King special. Yeah, I'd pay to see that. I'd pay to see that. No doubt. Yeah. He's always twirling the mustache. Yeah, they kind of reduced him down to that towards the end of it, because now it's like, at that point, once Michael became his own person, all it was these cutscenes of Joe like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Who told you to do that? Like, it's not even, you're not even scary anymore. I will say this, Lawrence Hilton Jacobs' version of Joe was always scary. Even old Joe was scary. You understand? Like, there's a certain point in this movie where Joe stops being scary. Then you turn into a caricature. But Lawrence Hilton Jacobs' Joe was always scary. He always like, this nigga gonna snap. Nigga, I'm grown, but he still might snap. Okay, so I give Lawrence the nod in that regards to, like, Joe from start to finish was a menace. Okay, he was always a problem. You never know what he's gonna do, if he's gonna pop off or not, even in his old age with these grown ass kids, these grown ass men, right? But there's a certain point in this movie where Joe turns into the mustache twirler. Who do that? And then the scene when Michael walks off the stage and Joe kind of grabs his arm and Michael just walks by him. I got plans for this tour. We're gonna go to India. We're gonna Paris, Tokyo. Like, it's like, oh, okay. He was the Captain Hook. Perfect. Yeah, he turned into Captain Hook. He turned into Captain Hook. Ill Magic, thank you for the 5. The Making of Thriller is the movie. Okay. It's probably my favorite. That's probably my favorite scene of the movie. Listen, once again, credit to that woman. This woman here. This is why that Thriller scene looks so fucking good. Every person, every dancer looked like the original person from the original video. You remember the lady in the dress with the pearls? You remember the guy to his right in the he had a vest and the shirt and the pants and like in the suit without the jacket. You remember every person that played the ghoul, the zombie from that and there's like, I don't remember, like, oh my god, yes, that the Beat It. He had the essay in the all white, perfectly casted. The white boy that looked like Michael Biehn in the striped shirt. Perfect casting. There's no misses in it. Listen, give this woman an Oscar or give her a nomination just on GP. Every person in front of that on that camera you saw, perfect casting. They look like the original person. Okay. All right. Let me see. Let me see what else. Yeah, we knew the sequel was gonna. I mean, you knew the thing was gonna make money. You knew it was gonna make money. The movie just makes you remember the time. I'm with you. Matter of fact, we didn't get. So it ends with bad. No, it ends with it ends with thrill. It ends with bad. So, and then that was a whole event in itself, and all the songs and videos that came from that. That's a whole nother story in itself. And then his fight with Sony and Tommy Mottola. So there's so many things you can explore in the sequel, and you still are not going to please everybody, right? So if you're going to do a sequel, even a trilogy, so it makes sense to have Joe Jackson as your first big bad. Tommy Mottola would have to be the second big bad for the sequel. I mean, they're going to have to explore the Tommy Mottola angle. Have to. Okay. So you talk about Tommy. You may allude to allegations here and there, and then you may allude to the fight with Sony over the Beatles, his financial issues, him going broke, and you understand? So you can explore that aspect of Michael in the trilogy. But for this one, we got to set up the big bad. The big bad in this whole thing was Joe and Michael's fight to become independent. It's really just that simple, Let me see what else. What else? I would give this an 8 out of 10. It's not perfect. Okay, so let me get to where I didn't like. Other things I didn't like. I don't know where $200 million went. Okay, I don't know where $200 million went. This movie cost $200 million. Now we take off $15 million for reshoots, so 175. I don't know where $175 million went. This is not a $175 million movie. Do you understand? Respectfully, this does not look like a movie that cost that much money. All the shots of the audience and the crowd, it looked cheesy as hell. You understand? Every time they pan into the crowd, it just looked like a bunch of people just it just didn't look. I'd rather them had used real concert footage. I'd rather them have used real concert footage, because this does not capture how just the impact. I mean, Michael had people falling the fuck, grown men crying, Michael, if I could just touch the hem of his garment. This was not conveyed well at all. That shit looked cheap as hell. I don't know where $200 million went. I don't. Now that Bubbles was CGI. Okay. The set pieces, once again, we're not talking about extensive location shoots. We're talking maybe 2 or 3 location shoots. I don't know where the money went. And it shows in some parts in this movie. Okay. You didn't spend a lot on cast. That's for damn sure. Everybody came for the cheap. I would assume maybe points and back end deals for all the damn executive producers that's attached to this. I guess, but those audience shots look cheap as hell. I was like, oh, come on, Antoine. Nah, it's not Antoine's fault, but I get it. But it looked really, really cheap. Really, really cheap. Really cheap. Really cheap. Really cheap. Really cheap. What else did I not like about the movie? Yeah, 2 old Midwest niggas. For sure. And then, you know what? To be fair to Joe, because there's a scene when Catherine's like, you need to be thankful for Michael for all this. And he's like, what you mean thankful to Michael? I'm the one that put this thing together. So I get that part of Joe wanting his recognition, but then the question goes on, okay, so how long do we recognize you for all this? At some point it has to stop. So that's that O'Shea syndrome. I made all y'all. Okay, nigga, that was 20 years ago. Make us again. Right? Because remember, all Joe had was the kids. I mean, Joe technically was a one-trick pony, but that one trick with that pony stretched, far. So maybe Joe didn't feel like he got enough credit or recognition, because once Michael blew up, that was it. Let me see. Okay. Yes, I'm well aware they're going to make a sequel. I know this. Thank you. Yes, 2 Jews going at each other. That was funny. Ooh, movie 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10? Good movie, not good story? Well, okay, what story would you have liked in the test? This is what I'm saying. You're all not going to be pleased. And I'm not understanding, okay, what storyline would you have liked for them to tell? Because you got to understand, not everybody watched the miniseries, y'all. A lot of us that grew up, these kids have not watched the miniseries. The millennials and Z's and alphas have not watched. They don't even know the miniseries exists. If this is your first time telling a Michael Jackson story, pick a timeline that would satiate everybody. You can't. You cannot. Okay? I like the James Brown version, the biopic. I thought it was pretty extensive. I liked it. But what do I know? Yeah, it's at 217. It's at 217. But once again, the money spent on this does not look like a $200 million film. Do you know what a $200 million film looks like? It looks like the goddamn Avengers. Okay? It looks like you know what? Let's do this. Let's go here. Okay, once again, this movie cost $200 million. Okay? Movies, and let's see what you compare that to what these movies look like. Movies that cost, we're talking $200 million. This movie does not look like a $200 million movie. Okay, sorry. Most expensive, we're just talking production. Okay, Star Wars, The Force Awakens, right? Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, Jurassic World, Deadpool, Wolverine, Fast X, Pirates of the Caribbean, Avengers Age of Ultron, Avengers Endgame, Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. You mean to tell me, and once again, to be fair, this Michael movie looked as good as these movies for 200, we're talking $200 million. Sir, that's not how this works. Okay, respectfully, that's not how this works. Okay? Thank you. Even the woman passing out looked cheesy as hell. Like this. Okay, fall out. That's what it looked like. Like she was told to fall out on cue. It didn't look. We'll go over like original concert footage. Okay. Once again, they couldn't do the Wiz because that would include Diana Ross. That's why her scenes were cut. Remember, the sister that was cast to play Diana, all of her scenes were cut because Diana said, no, I don't want no parts of it. Because the boys were already going to talk about Michael and Diana. She sent her legal team. She said, nope, don't put me in it. That's why all of the Studio 54 scenes with Michael and Diana were cut. Okay. So once again, they were going to give you the dirty, but certain people didn't want to be exposed like that. What more do you want? They tried. So get mad at Janet. Get mad at Diana Ross for not giving y'all the timelines that you guys really wanted. It's not Graham King's fault. Okay? Janet got high-powered attorneys. Diana damn sure got high-powered attorneys. If they say no, don't mention me, then that's it. So be mad at them. Once again, show me where Michael looked as good as these movies. Okay? Man, let me be fair. Let's just do the $200 million movies. Let's go to 200. Superman Returns. Oh God. Let's scratch that out. Let's get it. Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom. Tenet cost $205 million. Guess what? That looks like a $200 million film. Okay? The Hobbit, Planet of the Apes, Transformers. Okay, yeah, this does not look like a $200 million film. Okay, now let me get to that. So somebody said some. Oh, the Wiz. Oh, the Mike. Dan. Okay, yeah, this was the lady that was cast. Her name, I forget her name. She was cast to play Diana Ross. Diana Ross, actress. And they even put out a press release saying, "Hey, all the scenes we shot with yeah. Cat Grant was cast as Diana Ross in the 2025 movie, but her scenes were cut from the film due to legal considerations. Okay? Though she filmed scenes portraying the Motown diva and close confidant of Jackson, these moments were removed from the theatrical release. Be mad at Diana Ross. Don't be mad at this production. Don't be mad at this staff. Don't be mad at Antoine. Okay? Be mad at Diana Ross. Okay? That's who you go after. That's who you be mad at. This was her. Okay? Now, the Gladys Knight lady didn't look nothing like Gladys Knight. That's probably the one miss. But you blink and you miss it. You blink and you miss it. Okay? They didn't talk about Joe sleeping with Ruby because LaToya. Once again, I hear you, but how does it tell the story of Michael? Okay? How does it tell the story of Michael? All right? Yeah, once again, millennial. I don't think millennials. Nah, that was solely Gen X. That was solely Gen X, man. I don't think millennials watch VH1 like that. I don't know. I disagree with you, sir. I don't know. It needs 425, 450 to break even. It'll hit that by next week for sure. But you got to figure 2.5. That's the metric. 2.5 times whatever the production budget is, and that's the break even point. Okay. All right, for sure. Wait. Let me hold up, Red. Hold up. Hold up. Yes, if you guys want to, for those who have seen it, if you want to chime in, please. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. I don't want to be by myself just running my mouth. I'm just giving y'all my take. Where the fuck is my thing? Hold up. Let me find my thingamajigger. Hold up. Okay, let's go here. Boom. Okay, for those that want to give their take, there's the link, and I'll post a number in a minute. So give me a minute. All right. If you want to chime in, by all means. Once again, I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm just telling you what I saw, what I took from it. Okay. Shout out to my man Mojo. But yeah, I don't think a lot of millennials grew up with the mini series like that. I disagree. But once again, y'all be mad at Diana Ross for not getting that Studio 54 version of Michael Jackson. Okay. They went cheap on the tenant sound. You know, it was the same issue they had with Dark Knight Rises. I don't know what it is with Christopher Nolan. He does not do sound well. He does not do sound very well at all. Ray, what's good?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Can you hear me? Oh, hold on.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. I paused there. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, yeah, that movie was it was on the myth side, you know, for me. 'Cause I mean, it was I needed more out of that movie, you know. Like if it's Michael Jackson, okay? Like let's get one thing straight. It's Michael Jackson. If we're gonna tell the story of Michael Jackson, I want to see all of it. I don't care. I don't care about the Jackson estate. I don't care about Diana Ross. I don't care about Janet Jackson. Tell me the real story. Can y'all just let it go and just tell the real story about what happened with the Jackson Five, with Michael Jackson, with Joe Jackson and his wife? Can we just like stop treating people like children? You know what I'm saying? Like I just feel like the studios treated people like children, and not saying that, you know, people can't have a good time at a Michael Jackson movie. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying we shouldn't have a good time at a Michael Jackson movie. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that we need more of the actual Michael Jackson story, because I'm rewatching the one from what was it, 1985,
Yeah, the
1990,
miniseries.
somewhere
Yeah.
around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm rewatching that. It's 3 hours and it tells the story. I think the 1980s version holds more of the story than than Michael. I hate to say it, you know, like just because it has Michael in the name does not mean that, you know, like they were going to tell the whole story. I mean, of course they're going to give you a watered down story. People need to feel good in a time of like crisis, you know? So that's kind of how I feel about it. You know, people need to feel good, and the only way to feel good about something right now is who can we pull out of our hat and who can we give a biopic to? You know what I'm saying? The same way that I would say that the Jimi Hendrix estate would do the same thing to Jimi Hendrix. The Kurt Cobain estate would do the same thing with Kurt Cobain, because you still have Kirst Novoselic and David Grohl still alive, so they're not going to tell the real story of Nirvana. Janis Joplin? They're going to do the same thing with Janis. You know, so me personally, I think with biopics, they get watered down so much because of people, you know, kind of saying NDAs on many estates, you know. But I think now more than ever, if you're gonna have a biopic, tell the real story. You know, like please tell the real story, because I don't want, you know, to go to a movie for 2 hours and then be like, all right, I get how inspirational Michael was, but there's more to Michael than just what I just saw. Because I can just watch the other one and be like, there's more to the story. And that's what I kind of went into Michael thinking that it was gonna be, you know? So I don't want to be with the white people, but in this case, I'm like, yeah, they glazed it.
Okay, I hear you, but I'm not gonna compare the miniseries to a movie because the miniseries had 2 nights and you were talking about 6 hours of airtime to go into all types of stuff. Um,
Hmm.
and we and with biopics, we didn't get the whole Freddie Mercury with Queen. He would have orgies with men all the time at his at it. They didn't show that. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah, of
saying?
course, yeah, yeah.
So you're never gonna get the real. It for me, just tell the story. If it makes sense, am I entertained? It gives me escapism. Cool. I don't expect them to put every nook and cranny into these people's lives. That's not a realistic expectation for me. I mean, even the Elvis doc, could have still left more to be desired. But I was happy with what I got. I just think if this is people's first introduction into Michael, because a lot of these people that are watching it, these young kids, they didn't watch the miniseries. They weren't alive for it. So and then what timeline would they have shown you to make you happy? I mean, this man's 50 years of
Right.
life. Like, pick a storyline, and then it has to make sense to the general audience. But you know this already. But I hear what you're saying. I just think they did what they could. They tried to, and then like I said, you had two of the biggest stars, block it legally. Their interactions with it. So
Yeah.
there's half your story right there.
Right. Now my girlfriend was like, "There's gonna be a part two." I mean, I personally think that there might be a part two because it doesn't just end with this,
Oh,
like
they're,
it just
they're
can't
gonna
end
green
with
light it. It's for sure. They will green. The Lionsgate will
yeah,
green light the
because you
fuck out of
just can't.
this.
I mean, you just can't end it on just Michael Jackson tells his father, hey, I'm going on, I'm not doing this tour anymore. Like I mean, it can't stop there because there's
Oh,
more to it. But
okay,
I guess
but that
what okay, good, good.
that was a majority of his into his early adulthood life was getting under from Joe. That was like 30 years. Remember how long he lived in the house with the family until he moved out? He was damn near 30. So a
Yeah,
lot of that was just trying to get away from Joe and all the abuse that Joe put them through, just not physically, but psychologically. He would play all these mind manipulations games. This is a grown ass man, the biggest star in the world, still scared of his father, right? So
yeah,
I get
yeah.
that. So if you're gonna do the sequel, then you set up the next big bad for that. I I
Right.
I just want people to be like, okay, we grew up with the man, we know what it is. But for those that have never, they've only seen him on YouTube. Your first introduction to this guy, what timeline would you have picked, and how would you have ended it? Because 10 different people would give you 10 different ways how they should have ended it.
Right.
But no,
And I get
what's your take on it though?
no, but no, and I understand, like I didn't grow up with Michael Jackson. I only grew up with Michael Jackson after 1995. So I personally know Michael Jackson from the Michael Jackson Dream
Okay,
biopic and then
okay,
all of his music. So
okay.
that's what I'm going on. You know what I'm saying? And I guess because he's been so iconic throughout time, right? I personally like. I think me personally, I want, and I guess I know 2 hours, IA rules and stuff like that, because a lot of studios will not greenlight a 3 hour movie unless something happens. Somebody's getting money off of it. Um, but I think me personally, I think these studios and I think many estates will kind of just water down the story because it's just like I think there's more to like I said, there's always more to the story, like just the same as Freddie Mercury had orgies. I'm pretty sure Diana Ross there could be a Diana Ross art. You know what I'm saying? Like with all the stuff that she was doing. I think she personally molested Michael Jackson.
Hmm.
I think personally, like I mean, there has to be more to these stories, and I guess people want to sweep them under the rug because it's the entertainment industry. Like, what do I expect? There to be a clean story? No, I don't want a clean story. I want a story that kind of gives me closure. You know what I'm saying? Like I can go to my kids and say, you know what, this happens, and because I'm in the entertainment industry myself, all right, here's the if, ands, and buts, and here's what you not gonna do.
Mm.
So I guess that's for me. But I mean. Hey, yeah, I agree with Say Some. It's a touchy subject, but I think if okay, I'll end it with this. If we got Me Too out here and all these other subdivisions of like social justice causes, right? And we want to tell stories like just the same as there's a documentary coming out about what's his name, Island Boy, right?
Oh, Nature Boy.
And
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah,
don't,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, Nature Boy, excuse me, not Island Boy, Nature Boy. You know, if we got things coming out with art, if we got an R. Kelly, a surviving R. Kelly, we got a Bill Cosby biopic, we got all that, right? What's to say we can't have a actual Michael Jackson movie where you guys say exactly what happened? You know what I'm saying? Nothing. I feel like in today's day and age, nothing nothing can be uncensored anymore. Since we now have the Epstein class and all this other stuff, right? So why not just let it all out? Stop being scared. You know, like, hey, people don't want escapism. That's what people voted for Trump. I mean, I don't want to, kind of blow it over, but like, you know where I'm going with this, right?
I hear you, but I think the majority of Michael Jackson fans just want to enjoy him, the music, and how we came to be with the music. I don't think they want all the underbelly stuff too much, because most people remember or choose to remember the good stuff without the allegations, without all the dirt. The music made them feel a certain way, and I think people want to remember and recapture that moment of Michael, which is why I don't think all the salacious stuff is that important. But I could be wrong.
Yeah. No, no, I don't think you're wrong on that. I think me personally, like I said, I want more of like the closure. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm more of the guy that's like, I want to go into this movie, not even just entertained, but I learned something. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like I learned, like I didn't know something about Michael Jackson. Like I'm like, okay, I knew about Thriller. I know about where it was shot at Hoyt Schermerhorn, because I used to live there, right? I used to live in Hoyt Schermerhorn, so I know where Thriller is, right? I know the neighborhood because I used to walk in it. But after that, I'm just like, okay, like, everybody dancing, everybody feels good, ABC and all that shit, but that's just how I am. That's just how I feel, man. I'm just speaking my 2 cents on the movie. I think it was a I think it was an okay movie, but I just think they glazed too much of it. So that's how I feel about it. But
Okay,
that's just me. But that's all I'm gonna say about it. That's all I'm gonna say.
for
I'll see
sure.
you later, bro.
Okay, bro.
I mean,
Shout out to my man Red Scenes Blues. Listen, for those that have seen it, I want to get you guys' thoughts. Here's a call-in number. Call me now. 210. Okay, if you got an opinion, either you agree or disagree, please call in. I would love to get you guys' thoughts. I don't want to be the only person out here running my mouth about this. So, I understand everything you guys are saying, but once again, we're talking 50 years of this man's life. It just, I think you guys are asking too much to be crammed, and then the story becomes disjointed. You watch a movie and they put too much shit in there. I think you guys are so hungry for it. You want too much into it, and it's gonna spoil it. I think if they do the sequel, which they should, I believe they will, then maybe they can delve into other storylines briefly that would kind of make you guys feel a little bit better about what they missed in the first one. Hello,
That fly?
man, my man, what's going on, bro? Talk to me, bro.
Man, as far as the Michael movie goes, I like it for what it was, especially considering that there's a disadvantage that a lot of people seem to be forgetting. And that disadvantage is that 85 documentary, that awful Michael Jackson movie with Flex Alexander.
Okay.
And also, well, I wouldn't really say this is it, but I will also say that Michael, I personally say he's a big name. Him and Elvis are like the most big names when you think of music documentaries. And I think that kind of works a little bit against the movie.
Okay.
And also with some of the critiques, I see where everyone's angle is coming from. Like, for example, people saying like, oh, It doesn't have a plot. I think they just focus on music too much. In which my counter argument to that is Michael's albums, from Off the Wall to Thriller, they were all movies within themselves. That was always his album process. And I don't think people understand that. And also you have and like everyone mentioned, you have two big celebs who don't want it. You have Diana Ross's weird self, and then I wouldn't say Janet is a hater or bitter. I think she's shelled in a certain sense. But I would say I think the movie was fine. I thought it was fine for what it was.
Right.
I like the casting. I didn't know about the Crips and Bloods and the Don King thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I personally think people maybe had too high of expectations.
Right.
It's like they try to nitpick, like, oh, why didn't they add this? Why didn't they add that? And it's like, it's not going to, a lot of those things, let's be honest, aren't going to move the needle.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the way that a lot of these musical biopics are, they're not going to lay everything on the table. They still want to keep a wholesome image, which kind of baffles me when they say, "Oh, we want to know about the allegations," or a little bit more of the family dynamic when it's all about Michael. But as the $200 million with the budget, I do agree. I'm trying to figure out how they used what all went to it.
I'm going to assume it was this legal rights. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where it went to. So many people with their hands out in this. I mean, if you watch the credits, how many, goddamn 15, 20 executive producers, you know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of that went to just greasing the palms, because clearly production wise, this was not a $200 million movie by bar none.
I would say licensing. I personally think licensing plays a role too. I mean,
yeah.
Because you got to remember, some movies or certain things don't get streamed because licensing is a bitch.
Yeah,
excuse my French.
There's a couple Michael records that I never heard before, or different versions. I'm like, what version is that? Well, off what album? There was two records. I was like, I had to Shazam this shit because I'm like, I never heard this one before, you know. I'm like I said, I just, Michael is such a character. You can't satisfy everybody, but I'm just thinking for just general casual moviegoers, I think most people wanted to go for the music. And it states that was the common theme throughout the music. All he kept saying was, "I want the music to shine. I want the music to speak for myself." When he went into the meeting with John Branca with Walter, he's like, "I don't need publicity. I don't need interviews. I just want the music to sell." That he was all about the music, and I think that's the average fan is just, I'm here to listen to the music. I think the story kind of comes second, or the music is the story, and the man itself is the subplot.
Exactly, and that's the thing that I primarily got for the movie. The music, was kind of the main conductor of the movie, because there were some moments where it's like, oh my gosh, now I'm trying to feel the chills of the movie, like Who's Loving You, or when they did the dance, choreographing the dance to Beat It.
Yeah,
it took me back a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to hold it up too long. I would give Michael Part 1 7 out of 10.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting it to be a masterpiece. I was expecting it to be solid.
Yeah.
And it's in the realm of a Bohemian Rhapsody.
I agree. All right. Shout out to Club Fortune. That was Club Fortune for those. Hey, ladies. He's Niger. He's single. I'm not saying, y'all be trying to line my guy up, but he got resources. Okay. Assets and resources. All right. That's the call-in number. Like I said, I want to hear from you guys. So let's go here. Like I said, that budget, once again, they would have been better off just using concert footage of the fans, because there's no way, because what I saw was not was not concert footage. Okay.
To make the most of his stage presence.
Let me see.
1990
No,
up day and
Let me go
be
here.
seen.
Look
Did
at
he
this shit,
quickly
man.
jerk his head to one side, prompting fans before
I
slowly
don't want to
taking.
hear you. I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to hear from you. Just the fans, man. Just use the concert footage. You understand? Carried out on stretchers. Like, they'd have been better off just using concert footage. Because with that shit I saw, the one girl fell out on cue like, action. Ah! I was like, oh, come on. Y'all got to do better. Y'all got to do better.
While Michael did this routine at various concerts around the world,
Let me see.
he repeated the trick at his Super Bowl. They admire his talent and his genius.
Yeah.
And greatness.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, see this shit?
Inspired by his strength
Yeah,
and
people would get crushed.
They are motivated by his hard work, his optimism, his grand aspirations, and his achievements.
Okay. Yeah, you just would have been better off just using concert footage, man. Cause what I saw was not it, y'all. That was not it. Let's go here. Hello.
Hey, Sly.
What's happening?
How you doing?
I'm good. You?
I'm good. So
Okay.
I'm a millennial, and you know, I remember 7 years old seeing that miniseries. The next morning, going to the school bus, everyone talking about it.
Okay.
So a lot of people did grow up with, you know, knowing that, at least in my age group, which is 40 and up. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So going into the actual film, I felt it was a bunch of clips just thrown together at
Okay.
certain points
Okay.
because it went so fast. And just listening to that last caller who was talking about it, it would have been better if they had done, say, Michael off the wall. And the first one could have been, okay, from a boy up until that point,
Mhm.
instead of them just drifting through everything like that.
Okay.
And so, and you did make a great point about the audience, that dim red, like that red lighting. It seemed like a screen behind them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a bit horrible. Not only didn't I like how they portrayed Joe Jackson the whole way, I thought the look of him was a bit off, wasn't it?
Okay. So Joe had green eyes. They didn't. His nose wasn't the original. Remember, they all ended up getting their noses done. That was the crazy part.
Right.
So that scene when Joe was like, "Come here, what'd you do to you?" And he's like, "It's for my sinuses." And then he's talking to LaToya, and I should get my nose done. So they all ended up getting their noses done, which is the biggest irony of that whole with the Joe Jackson part. So aesthetically, it was 50-50 for me. Him looking like Joe. They got the green eyes part down, and then when he had the Jerry curl, he looked even more like Joe with Jerry curl.
Yeah, I went back and looked at some pictures a little bit. I mean, it was just a bit off for me, but you know,
Yeah.
You're right. A lot of it is my memory of him with the smaller nose, the slimmer nose.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you, what timelines would you have liked to have seen explored in this, or what would have made it over the top for you?
You're right. You're absolutely right that you couldn't have put everything together, even up to bad. That's why I was saying that. Listening to the other caller, it made me think that they should have just focused on the timeline, doing every album,
Okay.
him creating every album, coming up with it.
Okay.
So they could have done the backstory up until, like, you know, him as a boy getting signed and everything with Jackson 5, up until Off the Wall.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that comes out. We see the fanfare, how it's taken, how it's received, and how his life has changed up to that point.
Mhm.
Right,
Mhm.
and then they could have came with Thriller, because if you do Off the Wall, and then you know people are like, oh, what the hell happened to Thriller, and people know that the next movie is Thriller, it's gonna put butts in seats. Period.
I like that. Yeah, it was weird because you know when they're doing a Thriller, and I'm like, oh, still had to do the Victory Tour. And so I'm sitting there in the theater like, when are they going to cover the Victory Tour? And I'm like, he had to go back and do the Victory Tour. I'm like, oh, that's right. So I like that idea. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it gave you a bunch of feel good moments when you go back and you see it, just like you were saying earlier. You see how Thriller, on the movie, the video for Thriller was filmed, and how his certain thought processes when going through songs and concept boards and everything like that.
Right.
It brought you in those points, but you didn't feel like you really knew Michael all the way, and like what his day to day was, and like how what affected him internally, other than the turmoil with his father.
Okay. I like what you're saying.
It's just like you said, like Joe was the boogeyman, and that was basically it. It was between him and Joe the whole movie.
Yeah.
At the antithesis.
Yeah. So hopefully in the second part we get the more enlightened Michael that came from the forged in the fire. He survived his father. Now he's ready to take on the world. And I think the next big bad should be Tommy Mottola. To me, it only makes sense if you're going to go this route, since you've already laid out this foundation. Then yeah, you gotta set up the next big bad.
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
That's not gonna happen.
I know.
I'm gonna say why. If Diana and Janet can get their lawyers stuck on them.
So we're not gonna get that press conference. Tommy Mottola is the devil. We're not gonna get that.
No, none of that. All right, man. You have a good night, Fly.
Thank you, bro. You too. For sure, great call. I appreciate that. Hey, listen, please call in and give your thoughts, whether you agree or disagree. I just want to hear from the people. I want to hear from you guys. But yeah, let me see. Once again, it just should have just went with concert footage, man. Should have just went with concert footage. Like, you can't replicate this, man. I mean, paid actors can only do so much. This shit was genuine, authentic, in the moment. You understand? Yeah, who said that? They done missed the whole concert because they passed out. Can you imagine spending all your hard-earned money and taking off from work, driving however many days to get to a Michael Jackson concert, and you passed the fuck out, and you missed the whole damn show because you passed out? You understand? They would have been better off just going up with the concert footage, man. Listen, I've never seen, the closest person I've seen people fall out. Once again, I hate to say, but Elvis will kiss these women, and these women will fall out in front of their husbands. Okay, the closest thing I ever seen is Elvis be kissing these white women in front of their husbands, and these heifers will fall out. That's the closest I've seen anybody come to over a celebrity. But this shit here is insane. Listen, nobody was doing this for Prince. Okay, nobody fell out for Prince. Nobody fell out for Stevie Wonder. I'm sorry. Nobody fell out for Smokey Robinson, R. Kelly, none, Beyonce, none of them. Okay? This is the only person I've seen grown men like, Michael, and they fall the fuck out. Okay? See? Exactly. You missed the whole damn show because you passed out. You'll never see anything close to this ever again. Ever. You'll never see this again. Ever. You'll never see that again. This shit makes no damn sense. I don't think Jesus could have elicited a similar reaction. You understand? This is the closest thing to God in the flesh, y'all. If I could just touch the hem of his garment. Yeah, I think that would have made those scenes way better if they just used concert footage, man. Yeah, nah, man. Yeah. No. Okay, I want to get to the last scene of the movie when Michael pretty much tells Joe on stage, the final show at the Victory Tour, that he's done. And I was like, oh yeah. So let's go revisit that moment. Michael said, enough is enough. Once again, give this sister an Oscar nomination off top just for the casting alone. Phenomenal eye. I mean, she killed it with the casting. Killed it. Her name is Kimberly Hardin. Before I get to the concert footage, the logo has changed over the years. If you remember, if you watch the movie, you seen it went to the Optimum Productions, and I remember like, oh no, it used to be Michael Jackson Productions. So the logo has changed. Michael has moved it from different companies, which I thought was kind of odd. So I think there's like 4 different logo changes. So remember that used to be one, right? And then it goes to this, right? I believe in the 80s or 90s, Michael changed it to Optimum Productions. Right? I remember that one. I remember the first one, and then this one, and then the Michael Jackson game. Okay, then it went to Triumph International, then it went to Optimum Productions. Okay, so let's go here. This is the night, the final tour stop that Mike said, I'm done. Let's go.
Listen up.
I'm listening.
I'd like to say this is our last and final tour. And I think this is our farewell tour. Y'all been wonderful. It's been a long 20 years, and we love you all. Here we go. Shake your body. Shake your body.
Okay, now if you remember in the movie, it was a different song. It wasn't Shake Your Body. It was working day and night. In the movie, it was working day and night, and they did the long extended breakdown, and that's when he goes into he says the exact same words. Word for word is what he said. And then there's a cut scene to Joe like, and then he walks off before everybody else. And you know, then Joe turns into the silly old man at this point. Okay. Let's go here. Once again, so the algorithm is going to bless us with Michael. Hello.
Hello. Oh, is this Sly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Hey, how you doing? This is name's Mike.
Hey, what's going on with you?
Long time viewer.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I just wanted to give a little opinion on the movie.
Please let me have it. Yes, give it to me.
Well, first of all, when you mentioned the Asperger's syndrome,
yeah,
man, you blew my mind. Because the minute you said it, and it took me 10 seconds to roll over everything about him in my head, and I was oh my God, he's right. He's right. It explains everything. Everything. Because I had an aunt who had similar issues, and my grandfather especially was like, man, they got no sick child in my family. We didn't need to take no doctor or anything like that. You know, that's how black people back in the day felt about children who might have had an issue.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, little Mike can sing like that, and you my meal ticket?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not worried about Asperger's syndrome. I'm worried about getting you on the stage and making some money.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So he would go his entire life not diagnosed properly, and it would affect him for everything, and put him in a situation where he could get easily taken.
Yeah.
You know? So I agree with you on that 100%. And the movie, I get it. I personally love the movie. I personally give it an 8 out of 10.
Good.
I see everything people who are talking about, that they're not happy. I understand what they're saying, but I think the biggest thing is, and I wrote this in a YouTube comment, under someone was like bashing
people who like Jackson and all that. I said, here's the thing. As far as my memory goes, for the last 35 years, UMF has been dogging this dude. Throwing dirt on his name. 35 years, to the point where people made careers out of it.
Yeah.
Institutions in media were made and built on it. Some people even in old, if you remember the old hard copy days.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They don't remember that. Made millions off of trashing this dude. And I'm like, you know what? If this is just a little fan appreciation, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. We don't need to see him dirtied up.
Okay.
I'll take it. So I agree with you. I agree with you on that. Yes, there's bits and pieces that can be done. I personally have an issue with not enough Quincy.
Okay. Good point.
And a little bit more. How did he get to work those songs between the two of them in the studio? I would have liked to see a little bit more writing and everything. But what they did show was cool. I get it. But the way he did do the songs goes back to your point about him being on the syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And people are picking up on that. But I understand, Diana. I'm the guy who put in your comments like 2 days or so ago about me hearing that rumor 30 years ago.
Okay. Get into that if you don't mind.
Me.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, I've heard that rumor 30 years. I put a reply on it. Like if you click on, you see a reply on it. There's a bigger explanation on it, but you might have to hit reply on it to see it.
Okay.
But the rumor basically was Gene Simmons, Cher, and Diana used to bang.
Okay.
Back in the day.
Okay.
Gene found out that around the time The Wiz was, MJ and Diana did the do.
Mm-hmm.
And he hated MJ because of that.
Mm.
So even in the thing that I wrote, you go back and you find any interview of Gene Simmons talking about Michael Jackson, and he dogs him. And you can see it's personal. It's not professional. It's not like he was an artist and this and that.
Mm.
But even to any interview you can find before the allegations, where everybody like dropped at MJ's feet, Gene Simmons is dogging him. And my thought was, he's dogging him because he found out that there was a relationship between MJ and Diana, and he was hitting Diana, and it was a thing for him.
Mm.
And so I've heard that. And I remember reading it in the Daily News, New York Daily News gossip column 30-something years ago. But they didn't name the woman. They didn't name the people in they just said, yeah, basically Mike was turned out, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But they didn't name, but they said by Hollywood females in the industry older than him and stuff like. Like, of course, where you gonna go to? You gave all the information right there. You didn't do a good job of hiding it.
Yeah.
So that convinced me. And years ago, when they were doing, everybody get up on the stage, we're gonna sing "We Are the World." I think it was the American Music Awards, but it was after "We Are the World" won all those awards.
I remember.
And she had just gotten married.
Yeah.
And there are videos on YouTube showing he's sitting next to Elizabeth Taylor. He pissed as hell, and he walks up. He walks past her. He gives Harry Belafonte a hug, kiss on the cheek, starts singing, and he's like looking at her up and down, looking at her butt and stuff like that, and turn back and just start singing and everything. And she's like avoiding him, but not to make it look so obvious. But from then I was like, man, I knew they was doing it. I knew from then they was doing it. When I saw it live, I knew they was doing it.
Okay.
It's obvious. So back to the movie, you can't get, just like you said, you can't get everything in a damn movie. You can't get everything in a miniseries.
Right.
So a movie, it's not gonna be. But what people seem to forget is, I personally feel it's a money grab to an extent, but if anybody deserves to grab some of their money, it should be some of the family who was left out.
Okay.
Because me personally, I feel that Will was fake. Just like how they got insurance contracts on all these stars and stuff they done to collect insurance on, but the general public don't know about that. You know?
Yeah.
So I think the family's involved. The family's like, look, these white people gonna make money off of them anyway. Let us get a little something because they pushed us out of the will.
Mm-hmm.
They pushed us out. We not. How in the heck does his original family not get proceeds? Just his mom. Once his mom dies, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a bunch of white lawyers here collecting, deciding billions of dollars. You got the fake daughter collecting how much money he's going to get. And really, you know, that money was systematically siphoned from the black people. In my personal opinion, when you sign your name in blood on that contract in the beginning of your career,
yeah,
everything that comes after is not going to be in your family.
Yeah.
It's going to go to somebody else who's part of the group and so on and so on. I ain't got to tell you that, you know?
Yeah.
So I think the biggest part of it is that the movie brings him back to humanity.
Okay.
He's not the monster. They switched it to Joe. So Joe's the monster. A little unfair, but I get it like you get it. But he, all these decades of abusing the guy publicly, and I think I think the most important thing was to humanize it. I didn't care for. He was into me personally, from the stories I've heard and things I've grasped and stuff like that. He was into women. He had little secret relations. Every time you hear like somebody like Swiss Beats on a video talking about, yeah, Mike was in the studio with me, and it was like two Brazilian. Oh, it was Pharrell. Two Brazilian girls just walked in. They was with him, kissed him on the mouth, and they walked out. And he said, "Yeah, I'll see you all later." Stuff like. I was like, "That's a dude. Yeah. That's a regular dude with all this." Oh, okay, I'm gonna talk to the llama. Okay, I gotta go do my recording. Bye, llama, and go. That's a little too much because I get it. I know what they're trying to do, but there's a lady on here who does, God, I can't remember her name. Her name is Pearl something. And I'll follow her for years on YouTube. And she writes books about MJ still being alive.
Okay.
And she like brings evidence and stuff like his driver's license. His real name is Michael Joe Jackson, not Michael Joseph Jackson. Okay, whatever. That's cool. Whatever. But she made some valid points about him having girlfriends that LaToya didn't like and like possibly having sex with around the time they was doing the Wiz with like this little girl, his little side girlfriend and stuff like that. And she said they missed the opportunity to crystallize that he was straight, or at least he was into women.
Okay.
And they still playing this thing where he couldn't deal with women and this and that and everything. I'm not buying. I think he may have been awkward, but I think they're missing an opportunity with that. But that's not the agenda, even for the people who mean well. Yeah. The agenda for the people who mean well is, first thing and foremost, it's not about getting a good movie that represents him great. Family's involved, so that's happening. That's great. The thing is, those guys at the corporation went, What product can we put out? Okay, well, we'll do Michael Jackson. We got Michael Jackson. Okay, good. Let's put up Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But you need to make a profit. So your movie has to come in at 2 hours and 7 minutes. You can't do no 3 hours. You can't do no 3 hours. That's why they're saying, okay, well, there's no profit for the first one. Then we come out with another one. Because George Lucas made Star Wars, he didn't think he was gonna make another one. He put as much as he could in that first one, and then when they said, "Oh, this is fantastic, all the money we made," then George said, "Okay, I'm buying the studio's mine, and I'm coming out with all my movies now."
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they had to handle this one. You're gonna miss some things that would have stretched the movie out, and people don't really generally get that.
Well, yeah, for sure.
For the basics, to humanize him is very important historically, and I think that's the thing that pisses off these critics. Are like, oh, but the allegations weren't in there, and how dare those Negroes, you know? So that's what it's about, humanizing this dude, because there's money over the past 35 years of making him into a monster. That's where they make their money.
I'm with you.
That's where they make their money, so they're pissed off about that.
Okay, for sure. Well, I appreciate your take. Thank you so much for that.
All right. All right, but man, I'll keep watching you.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Have a good night, bro.
All right.
Yes, sir.
You too. Bye.
Well, you know what? Let's go check that out. The interaction between. Okay, I heard that Gene and Diana were doing it, but I didn't know that was all that. Okay, let's go here. Ooh, if looks could kill. Wait. There might be something there. The homie might be telling. Homie is spot on. Ooh, the look. Oh no. Somebody asked, where your comment at about Diana? Let's see. You know how many songs he wrote about Diana? Where's your comment at? I'm sorry. Where's your comment at? Where's your comment? Let me find it. Whoever said the comment about Michael and Dirty Diana. Listen, we got Dirty Diana. She's Out of My Life. What's the other record about Diana? She Out of My Life. Dirty Diana. There's one more record about Diana. Yeah, at least three records that I can remember about Diana specifically. But let's go here. This is the exchange he was talking about. Oh, Michael's pissed. I don't like this bitch.
Must also acknowledge the fact that the ripple has gone much further than I think.
Yes, Heartbreak Hotel. Thank you. Yes. And Remember the Time. So that's 4 records.
Have also put themselves.
That's 4 records about Diana.
Of stamping out those political leader. We just
want to get the mic on Diana.
Well, in addition, I'd like to thank 4 wonderful people.
I already did all that.
I know you did. I'll thank them too as well. I'd like to bring them up. Can we?
Yes.
We'd like to bring up Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie, Quincy Jones here, and Ken Cragen. Are they here?
Yeah, Mike ain't trying to be there, man. He like, fuck this shit. Mike ain't trying to be. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, look how he looked at her. Oh, Mike hate that bitch. Oh no. Hey, Mike went red pill for about 30 seconds, y'all. Michael Jackson was red pill for about 30 seconds. Mike was red pill for 30 seconds. Holy cow. Dude, that bitch sold through her soul. You understand? Like, you know what you meant to me? You broke my heart.
Thank you.
Mike went red pill for a split second. Yeah, you dirty bitch. You raggedy bitch.
A year ago, so we can sing "We Are the World" together.
Mike, like, you raggedy bitch.
Latoya, the Jacksons, can you come up on the stage? We're the Jeffrey Osborne.
Yeah, Mike ain't trying to be here, man. Mike ain't trying to be on this shit. He trying to be up out of here.
We are the world. We are the children. Elizabeth.
Hey.
We are the ones to make brighter.
Okay. Mike was red pill. Mike, we red pill like you raggedy bitch. You raggedy bitch. Hey, wait. Wait a minute. We have to play the scene. We have to because it's so apropos. You raggedy bitch. You raggedy bitch. Oh my God. Here we go, y'all. Here we go. You raggedy bitch. Oh. We here.
It's just all the same.
Bitch.
You complain all the time about don't nobody want your asses, don't know how to treat you. As soon as a man or brother show you genuine interest, you bitches act simple. Then you wonder why we go out with white women.
A white woman can have your sorry ass. Don't you throw that up here.
You raggedy bitch. You better be more careful who you pick up in grocery stores next time.
Troy, take.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Hey, fellas, we got to go back to the old ways of cursing these women out. Because these new ways ain't, you got to go back to calling them a raggedy, you raggedy trollop. You raggedy trollop. Hey, what's happening? Hello? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, listen, you got to go back to calling them a trollop, a harlot. You know what I'm saying? You know, raggedy. These newfangled curse words don't hit the same. You call a motherfucker a trollop? Yeah, you trollop ass. You a trollop. What's a trollop? Yeah. Let me get back to this real quick. Barry was his second father figure after Joe, right? Showed him all the ropes as far as the engineering, recording aspects of making music. So let's go here. Shout out to Joey for this. I heard about the scam. So let's go over this together.
1984. The Victory Tour is about to become the biggest concert tour in history. Michael Jackson, fresh off the success of Thriller, is ready to take the stage with his brothers. But there's a problem, a big one. Don King, the legendary boxing promoter with the wild hair and even wilder reputation, has somehow inserted himself into the tour as a promoter. And almost immediately, things start going wrong. Money disappears. Contracts get shady. Decisions are made behind Michael's back. Don King thought he could outsmart the king of pop. He thought he could pull his usual tricks and walk away with millions. He was dead wrong, because what Michael Jackson did next, it was absolutely savage. And it sent a message to the entire entertainment industry: don't mess with the king. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about how Don King even got involved with the Victory Tour in the first place. Because honestly, it never should have happened. Don King was a boxing promoter. He'd worked with Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, Mike Tyson, the biggest names in boxing. He was known for two things: making massive deals and being shady as hell. Lawsuits followed him everywhere. Fighters accused him of stealing their money. Business partners claimed he manipulated.
I mean, let me just say this about Don King. To be fair to Don King, he's the reason why fighters were getting 10, 15, 20, $50 million fights to begin with. Don King did that. Yeah. All that could be true, but Don King was the one that started paying big money fights and paying the boxers big ass money that Bob Arum wasn't going to pay. Lou Duval wasn't going to pay these people, these brothers, mainly these black men, these Mexican fighters. We've never seen the type of monies they're seeing now if it weren't for Don King. Say what you want about all the other back end deals and stuff, which is true, but Don King was paying motherfuckers over the top money. He did that. But let's continue.
Manipulated contracts. The man had a reputation, and it wasn't good. So why would the Jackson family bring him into their tour? One word: Joe Jackson. Michael's father, Joe, was always looking for the next big deal. He wanted the Victory Tour to be the most profitable tour in history, and he thought Don King was the guy to make that happen. Don King was a master at hype. He knew how to generate publicity. He knew how to sell tickets. And most importantly, he knew how to make money. for himself. Joe Jackson and Don King struck a deal. King would be one of the main promoters for the Victory Tour. He'd handle logistics, marketing, ticket sales, the whole operation. Michael hated the idea from the start. He didn't trust Don King. He'd heard the stories. He'd seen how King operated. And he knew that bringing someone like that into the tour was asking for trouble. But Joe Jackson insisted. He overruled Michael's objections. And just like that, Don King was in. Big mistake. Almost immediately after Don King got involved, things started to go sideways. First, there was the ticket pricing disaster. Tickets for the Victory Tour were priced at $30 each, an outrageous amount for 1984. To put that in perspective, most concerts at the time were $10 to $15. Bruce Springsteen tickets were $18. Prince tickets were $20. But the Victory Tour, $30. Fans were furious. Families couldn't afford to go. Kids who'd grown up listening to the Jackson 5 were priced out completely. And who was behind the pricing? Don King. He argued that the demand was so high, they could charge whatever they wanted. He said people would pay it. And he was right. Tickets did sell.
Hey, ain't that what TKO is doing to wrestling fans right now? Isn't that what TKO is doing to WWE fans right now? $10,000, spots to hang out with Cody Rhodes. $17,000 box seats for WrestleMania. Yeah, family package $50,000, and they were paying it. Nothing's changed, y'all. Nothing's changed. Corporations don't change their business practices, their business models, and business methods and ethics. The bottom dollar is money, and people will pay it.
But the backlash was brutal. Michael was mortified. This wasn't what he wanted. He never wanted to price out his fans. He publicly criticized the ticket prices and eventually donated his entire share of the tour profits, millions of dollars, to charity just to distance himself from the greed. But that was just the beginning of Don King's shady moves. Next came the bizarre ticket lottery system. Instead of just selling tickets normally, Don King created this complicated lottery process where fans had to send in money orders for tickets, and then they'd be entered into a lottery to maybe get seats. It was confusing, it was frustrating, and it reeked of a scam. Fans were sending in money and getting nothing in return. Some were getting terrible seats after being promised good ones. Others were being charged processing fees that seemed to come out of nowhere. Complaints started pouring in. News stations started investigating, consumer protection agencies got involved, and Michael, he was furious. This wasn't just bad business, this was damaging his reputation. Fans weren't blaming Don King, they were blaming Michael Jackson. But the worst part, the money. Michael started asking questions. Where was all the ticket revenue going? Why weren't the brothers seeing the profits they were promised? What were all these mysterious expenses on the accounting reports? Don King kept giving vague answers. He'd deflect. He'd promise to provide documentation later. He'd change the subject. Red flags everywhere. Michael's lawyers started digging into the contracts, and what they found was absolutely infuriating. Don King had structured deals that funneled massive amounts of money through his own companies. He was charging exorbitant fees for consulting and promotional services that were never clearly defined. He had clauses in the contracts that gave him control over decisions that should have belonged to the Jacksons. He was skimming money off the top, taking cuts he wasn't entitled to, and using legal jargon to hide it all. Don King thought he was dealing with naive entertainers he could manipulate. He forgot he was dealing with Michael Jackson, one of the smartest, most detail-oriented businessmen in the music industry. Michael had seen enough.
Yeah, but you gotta give credit to that. That was John Branca, dog. Y'all, listen. Two men that need more screen time or more spotlight. John Branca and Frank DeLeo. Say what you want, but without John Branca and Frank DeLeo, Mike he doesn't get to where he. I'm just saying. Listen, and I'm only saying this because I know the importance of good management, great management. They can make or break an artist's career. Okay, they're the last line of defense to keeping the artist from going over the edge, over the cliff. You understand? So John Branca, Frank DeLeo, say what you want about the businesses after that, but they got Michael to where he needed to be.
It was time to act. But here's the thing,
yeah, Michael
he couldn't
Peters
just fire
too.
Don King outright. The contracts were already signed. Breaking them would mean lawsuits, delays, maybe even canceling the tour. So Michael did something brilliant. He started documenting everything, every shady deal, every questionable expense. Every promise Don King made him broke. Michael's team built a case, brick by brick. And then Michael started making moves. First, he went public. In interviews, he started subtly distancing himself from Don King. He'd mentioned that he wasn't happy with certain business decisions. He'd emphasized that his primary concern was the fans, not the profits. The media picked up on it. Reporters started asking Don King tough questions. The pressure was mounting. Then Michael did something even smarter. He got his brothers on board. See, Joe Jackson had brought Don King in, but the brothers were starting to see the problems too. They were seeing the bad press. They were seeing the fan backlash. And most importantly, they were seeing their expected profits shrinking while Don King's fees kept growing. Michael convinced them that Don King had to go. Together, they went to their lawyers and said, find a way to get him out. And the lawyers delivered. They found clauses in the contract. They found violations. They found technicalities. They built a legal case that would allow them to terminate Don King's involvement without completely destroying the tour. In August of 1984, just 2 months after the tour started, the Jackson family made the announcement. Don King was out. He was fired, removed, done. The official statement was diplomatic. They thanked him for his contributions and said they were moving in a different direction. Standard corporate speak. But behind the scenes, it was war. Don King was furious. He threatened lawsuits. He claimed he was owed millions. He went to the press and tried to paint himself as the victim. But Michael didn't care. He'd already won. Here's where Michael's revenge gets truly savage. After firing Don King, Michael could have just moved on. He could have quietly finished the tour and never spoken about it again. But he didn't do that. Instead, Michael made sure everyone knew exactly why Don King was fired. His team leaked details to the press. Stories started appearing in newspapers and magazines about Don King's shady business practices. Reports came out about the ticket scams, the hidden fees, the contract manipulations. Don King's reputation, which was already questionable, took a massive hit. But Michael wasn't done. He restructured the entire tour operation. He brought in new promoters. He fixed the ticket pricing for the remaining shows. He personally oversaw the financial operations to make sure every dollar was accounted for. And then he did something that Don King probably never saw coming. Michael made sure the remaining tour dates were even more successful than the early ones. Better production, better reviews, better fan experiences, higher profits. Michael proved that not only did they not need Don King, they were better off without him. The Victory Tour went on to gross over $75 million and played to over 2 million fans. It became one of the highest grossing tours of the decade. And Don King, he got nothing. Well, almost nothing. He did eventually settle for a fraction of what he claimed he was owed, but compared to what he thought he'd make, it was pennies. Michael Jackson had outsmarted one of the most notorious hustlers in the business world, and he'd done it while protecting his fans, his family, and his legacy. That's savage. So what's the lesson here? Don King made a critical mistake. He assumed—
Okay, you shouldn't focus on Don King. Don King does what Don King does. You should be focused on why did Joe, because Joe had nowhere to go. Joe had nowhere to go. Without Michael, unless he can guarantee Michael, nobody wanted to deal with the Jackson without Michael, you know.
that because Michael Jackson was an entertainer, he was naive about business. He thought he could use his usual tricks and walk away rich. He underestimated Michael Jackson.
Okay, another point of contention I had with the movie, they mentioned Rod Temperton's name one time when he's talking with John. And they're like, I don't need a promo. I don't need all this. I don't need interviews. I just need the music to sell. And he's like, okay, you better get us some hot sounding demos. He's like, yeah, I got Quincy and I got Rod Temperton working on some songs. And that's all you hear about Rod Temperton. Yeah, like the caller said, they barely showed Quincy. And you know Rod Temperton. That was a disservice to him and to how that Thriller album came about. They should have at least had somebody just in a corner, you know, scribbling on a notepad. And I'll be like, oh, that's Rod Temperton, at the very least, you know. So that's another point of contention I have with the movie. I've been on for almost 2 hours. Okay, I think I got everything out of my system. I think I got everything out of my system. Right as of right now, we're at 2:17, y'all. White folk mad as hell. White folk mad. Well, white critics are mad as hell. White critics are mad as hell. Michael Jackson. Yeah, white critics are mad as hell. Okay, so 97 domestically, but once again, overseas is going to do the heavy lifting. It is officially across 82 international territories. We'll get those numbers in a couple of days. Okay. It crushed Straight Outta Compton by basically $37 million. Was any surprise? Like, no one should be surprised. One of the most expensive biopics. Listen, if anything, Universal will make sure this thing gets seen overseas. This was smart on Lionsgate. Lionsgate does the distribution here in the States. Universal's taking care of the distribution overseas, which is immensely smart. Immensely smart. Okay. Right now we're looking at A- cinema score, 97% popcorn meter, and Rotten Tomatoes has it at 38%. Nobody gives a fuck about Rotten Tomatoes at this point. Okay. Let's see. Demographics. 61% were female. 66% age 25 and older. Okay. You don't deliver this number unless you're seeing huge numbers across every conceivable demographic. They're clearly having a blast, and that bodes well for a lovely multiple. Producer Graham King, I'm over the moon that this film brought people together just like Michael did through his performances and music. Okay. Okay. Like, nobody should be surprised this movie is doing what it's doing. Let's go here. Once again, they downgraded their projections to 150. So, okay. The director for Leaving Neverland, he says, he explains the legal background behind this removal, saying that a former non-disparagement clause actually applied forever to everything HBO would ever do. Jeez. Forever, y'all. Yeah, this is going to be Antoine Fuqua's biggest movie of his career. Hands down. Hands down. Hands down. Yeah, the movie's finale originally featured Jackson accuser Jordan Chandler, whose settlement with the singer's estate guaranteed they would never be dramatized. $50 million in reshoots. Once again, y'all, it didn't go to production. It had to go to all the licensing and sync fees and all the. Let me see how many. Let's take a look. How many? This will give us the best. QQ. This will tell us where the money went. This is going to tell us where the movie meant. Okay. Six to over a dozen individuals. Okay. So, key executive producers and production team members, several Jackson. Okay, so Jackie, Jermaine Latoya, Marlon Tito are listed as executive producers. Prince, executive producer. Executive producers also Ron Burkle, Antoine Fuqua, David Householter, Jordan Schur, Lydia Silverman, Karen Langford, also listed as executive. This is where your money went. And they're all getting back end points. You better believe it. They're all getting back end points. You better fucking believe it. This is just... Jeez. Okay, this is where your money went, y'all. You must be new here, sir, respectfully. Listen, I got you. You must... Yeah, those movies didn't do particularly well. I'm not understanding why you're shocked at what I'm saying. Listen, this is going to be his first and only $1 billion film. If he does the sequel, that would be another $1 billion film. But I got you. You know, no shade, no brother. We're here to educate you. We're here to educate you. So the first Equalizer did $192 million. That's worldwide. Okay. I'm here to educate. The second one did $190 million. Shall I keep going? Yes, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Yeah, Denzel's not the star y'all think he is, but okay. The third one, $191 million. And then you said Training Day. Okay, those numbers are going to shock you as well. This man already damn near eclipsed everything he's done ever made in one weekend, okay? But some people don't know, and I'm here to educate. It's all good. Training Day only made $100 million worldwide. This man won an Oscar for this role, for this movie that is so, you let the fans tell it's one of the greatest movies ever. It only made $100 million, y'all. This man has already eclipsed what he's done in the past in one weekend with Michael. Shall I keep going? Anything else? I didn't know the numbers were this low for Training Day. This thing only made $28 million internationally. Denzel is not the star you think he is. Sure, he gets 20 million. Sure. That's why I had that conversation about who's a movie star, right? It was y'all. Somebody said, "Well, Denzel's just as big as Will Smith." Never is, never was, never will be. Okay. This thing only made $100 million worldwide, But you talk to people about Training Day, like, oh my God, Training Day is a classic. Yeah, it is. It only made $100 million. But okay. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. My throat's getting a little parchy, a little horsey. So I thank everybody that came through. Once again, this is a celebration of Michael. I'm glad this movie is doing well, better than expected. Middle finger to all the white critics and critics in general of this movie. And I mean critics that wanted this movie to do bad. They didn't want this movie to perform well. If you're looking forward to a Michael Jackson movie just so you can talk about the child abuse allegations, like that goofball ass bitch, Grace Randolph. That's all the bitch keep talking about is the allegations. Bitch, did you know that shit was not even... Anywho. It's all good. Hey, all good, brother. All good. Each one teach one. Beloved. So, I thank everybody that came through. All of y'all. Great discussion tonight. Thank everybody that donated. Thank you all. You guys are all called. Club, Red, the last caller, I forget your name, please forgive me. And I thank you guys. So once again, go out and see this movie. I think you'll like it more than you want to. Once again, the music, when the music starts playing, you're gonna get to either bobbing your head or moving your feet. Okay, so with that being said, I wish y'all all enjoy the rest of y'all's day. I gotta finish some laundry and grab something to eat because I'm hella hungry. I'll catch y'all in about 24 hours. We'll do it again tomorrow. Peace out.